Good morning. I will be reading Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 through 8. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication. With thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, beloved, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Amen. Amen.
Good morning. Good morning. Could we all please stand? We thank you now, O God, for the gathered community of Bennett College, for its various historical entities, for its ever-renewing life.
We thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College.
We thank you, O God, for the ties that bind generation to generation, alumni to students, faculty to staff, and past to present.
We thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College.
We thank you now, O God, for the unsung heroines of education who have blazed the trails of life at this institution, enabling us to have a firm foundation upon which we stand.
We thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College. For all thy blessings of faith and knowledge, we thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College.
You may be seated.
We will now have greetings from our college community, beginning with Mrs. Alexis Branch, SGA President, who is representing the Board of Trustees, and Trustee Charles Coote, who had a family emergency this morning. Mrs. Branch is also a trustee. Following Ms. Trustee, we will have greetings from the United Methodist Church, our faculty and staff, the alumni, and our student leaders. The greetings will be followed by a performance of Bennett's choir featuring senior Constance Staley and our Spirit of David dance ministry.
Good morning. Good morning. Could we all please stand? We thank you now, O God, for the gathered community of Bennett College, for its various historical entities, for its ever-renewing life.
We thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College.
We thank you, O now, O God, for the ties that bind generation to generation, alumni to students, faculty to staff, and past to present.
We thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College.
We thank you now, O God, for the unsung heroines of education who have blazed the trails of life at this institution, enabling us to have a firm foundation upon which we stand.
We thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College. For all thy blessings of faith and knowledge, we thank you, O Lord, for Bennett College.
You may be seated.
We will now have greetings from our college community, beginning with Mrs. Alexis Branch, SGA President, who is representing the Board of Trustees, and Trustee Charles Coote, who had a family emergency this morning. Mrs. Branch is also a trustee. Following Ms. Trustee, we will have greetings from the United Methodist Church, our faculty and staff, the alumni, and our student leaders. The greetings will be followed by a performance of Bennett's choir featuring senior Constance Staley and our Spirit of David dance ministry.
Good morning. To members of Bennett College Board of Trustees, the Honorable Patrice Hinton, our keynote speaker, President Phyllis Worthy Dawkins, Provost Michelle Linster, members of the faculty, staff, students, alumni, and our guests. Good morning, welcome home, and welcome to Bennett College. The members of the Board of Trustees are excited to join the celebration of the anniversary of Bennett College's chartering as the four-year college by the North Carolina Legislature 130 years ago. Today, we honor the audacious, the founders of Bennett College, who fearlessly established this private liberal arts college to train newly freed slaves as teachers, holding its first classes in Warnersville Methodist Episcopal Church, or as we know it, St. Matthew's United Methodist Church. The custodians who brought property on East Washington Street in 1875 and completed Bennett's first campus building 2 years later. The visionaries who led the charge to charter Bennett as a four-year institution in 1889, and the innovators who championed the very radical idea that women would be educated to think, to achieve, to lead. Bennett's work is vital. She prepares women for leadership and service. She wraps her history into her very relevant present. She connects her students, faculty, staff, alumni, and the Greensboro community. Today, we celebrate and honor those with the audacity to love, lift, and lead. It is also a day of reflection upon a rich history and a gleaming present as we face an awesome future. Thank you all.
Mrs. Jean Carter is unable to be with us today. She is ill and asked me to share her remarks. My name is Jean Carter. I'm a member of Christ United Methodist Church here in Greensboro. I bring you greetings this morning from the United Methodist Church in the Western North Carolina Conference and the United Methodist Women's Organization in the Northern Piedmont District. I am the vice president of that district organization, which encompasses over 140 churches. I am also the wife of a retired Methodist minister who for 40 years served our conference churches. In addition, he was a member of your board of trustees here at Bennett for 6 years before he retired. What has impressed me over the years with the United Methodist Church is that we are a connectional church. The connection between the church and Bennett has been a long-standing tradition. We offer to Bennett as a United Methodist Church-related institution, or we refer to Bennett as a United Methodist-related institution. Our other institutions include High Point University, Greensboro College, Pfeiffer University, and Brevard College. This means that it is the local churches that support and provide funds through our apportionment process and through special offerings, which happened recently for Bennett. These apportionment funds, our special offerings, are used to pay the church's expenses and for distribution to our church-related institutions. In return, the church asks the institutions to provide a moral grounding to their students and encourage public service and responsible civic action. When High Point University donated $1 million recently to Bennett College, President Nito Purvane referred to the fact that both High Point and Bennett have their roots in the United Methodist Church. He also said that the gift from High Point University was inspired by the words of Martin Luther King Jr. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. I will share with you something from the United Methodist Women. Once a year, annually, in October, we come to Bennett for a day of service called Ubuntu. This is a Zulu phrase that can be translated, I am human because you are human. It recognizes each human being as a part of a community. It moves us from action on behalf of our neighbors. Ubuntu is a celebration of being in community with people as a mission. United Methodist Women is also a connectional ministry to Bennett College. We are here on your campus annually, usually 3 times a year. We are sponsoring a social action event this Saturday on maternal health in the Global Learning Center. The event begins at 9 a.m. and there is no cost. On Saturday, April the 13th, there is a Bennett College Scholarship Fundraiser luncheon. I want to congratulate you on your 130th year of being chartered as a 4-year college by the state of North Carolina. I hope that you will also join us at the United Methodist Women's Day, the 150th birthday celebration this Saturday. Thank you for inviting me here today, and may you be blessed in all that you give, all that you do, and in all the connections that you make. Thank you.
Good morning. First, giving honor and glory to God, it is with great pleasure that I stand before you on this distinctive day. To Madam President, the Board of Trustees, senior administration, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, and the current and future alumni of Bennett College, I bring you Charter Day salutations on behalf of the dedicated faculty and staff here at Bennett College. Let us return for just a moment to 1873. The first American postcard was developed. Susan B. Anthony was continuing to fight for women's suffrage, and Bennett College was born. Then in 1926, Route 66 was commissioned, eventually crossing 8 states and 3 time zones. Historian Carter G. Woodson announced the second week of February would be Negro History Week, but we now refer to as Black History Month. And the institution, Bennett College, that we love today, was personified as a woman. For more than a century, she has fostered morally grounded growth, intellectual honesty, community service, and responsible civic action. In order to truly develop in the present and be successful in the future, one must know their past. Her past is one of trials, tribulations, determination, and many, many celebrations. Let us remember on this Charter Day that our roles as faculty and staff, and all of those touched by her splendor and grace, is to continue to motivate, encourage, and inspire women to strive towards their utmost and full potential. May I leave you with this statement to reflect upon our history. I am because we are because I am. Thank you.
Good morning. President Dawkins, trustees, faculty, staff, students, and friends of Bennett. I bring you greetings from our National Alumni Association President, Mr. Gwendolyn McEl-Rice, and from over all of the 7,000 graduates of Bennett College, whom we call alums. Reflecting on the Charter Day theme, I would be remiss not to reflect and be grateful for those who had the vision and notion of Bennett College, and for those that continue the vital work to educate and prepare women for service and leadership. Because to educate women is to forge the future, and that is what Bennett College has done and continues to do. Bennett women, we are women of service, leadership, and achievement. We all love Bennett, and we all want to see her to continue to build her historic legacy. Therefore, as we continue to prepare young women to serve, to lead with determination and integrity and purpose, let's show the world that the radical idea that women could and would be educated is vital today, tomorrow, and for future years to come. With all of us working together, we can and will build a better Bennett. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, faculty, staff, and students. My name is Felicia Angela Park, and I'm a computer science, computer engineering double major from Georgetown, Maryland. I'm excited about Charter Day because on this special occasion, we celebrate many years of Black women excellence. This is our 130th Charter Day, and hopefully we can look forward to 131. On this day in 1889, Bennett College was chartered as a four-year college by the state of North Carolina. Since then, the Bells have been an incredible representation of determination, perseverance, and pure grace. In light of Consent Week, Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." So Bells, I charge you to take charge of your emotions and not listen to the hate. We often see quotes like "the future is female," but the truth is the future is a Black female. The future is the Black girl you are now and the Black woman that you will matriculate into. Charter Day is a day to reflect. It's a day to celebrate small and large victories. It's a day to be thankful. It's a day to feel loved. It's a day to honor your institution and appreciate it for what it is and what it is capable of becoming. I want to thank the freshman class, shout out to y'all, and the freshman class e-board members, especially for their constant support and hard work. My e-board has had a turbulent year, but here we still stand. We're all amazing representations of the new generation of dreamers, thinkers, and achievers. And like the baby said, young CEOs. Demetrius Harmon has been saying that you matter for years, and I hope that you believe him. Charter Day is a day of reflection, so let's reflect on the fact that Bennett College has raised $9.7 million in a matter of days. But Bells, especially the Bells of the class of 2022, know that you were a huge part of that. You went hard for your institution and defended yourself against internet trolls and just plain ignorant people. You're the strong woman I got to share my first year of college with. You're the women of today and tomorrow. I want to leave you with a quote. Taylor told me to tell y'all, who run the world first? It's the Lord headed. Thank you.
Good morning. Greetings, President Dawkins, Board of Trustees, alumni, staff, faculty, all guests of the college, and my beautiful Bennett sisters. I am Ashley Robinson, a sophomore social work major, entrepreneurship minor from Plainfield, New Jersey, and I humbly serve as a sophomore class president for this academic school year. On behalf of the sophomore class of 2021, it is with the utmost joy that all of you are here to celebrate 130 years of Bennett College becoming a 4-year liberal arts institution with us today. Last year, I was afforded the opportunity to speak at Charter today, representing my class as well. I said with the determination of all the students, along with the dedication of everybody who keeps this college running on a daily, it is without a doubt that we will overcome anything thrown our way. And I still stand by that statement today. 146 years ago, in the basement of what is now St. Matthew's United Methodist Church, Bennett College was started. And 93 years ago, it became one of the only 2 all-female historically Black institutions or universities. 130 years later, we are here and will remain celebrating the illustrious institution that represents the Mecca of Black girl magic. 130 is an angel number. It represents being keen about your life's purpose and for you to understand its divine nature. Angel number 1 stands for excellence and success. Angel number 3 stands for positive thinking, and angel number 0 represents infinity. The angel numbers altogether want us to know a lending hand will always be there whenever we need assistance. Young women who want an education will not be stopped. Frida Pinto. I hope you enjoy the program as we honor those who paved the way for us. Bennett bells will forever ring. Thank you.
To the Board of Trustees, President Dawkins, faculty, staff, guests of the college, and alumni, and most importantly, my radiant Bennett sisters. Good morning. I am Deja Allen, a junior biology major from Brentwood, New York, and I would like to bring you greetings on behalf of the junior class on this wonderful day of celebration. Today, we celebrate 130 years of ambition, resilience, and most importantly, the true essence of Black girl magic. As on this day, in 1889, the story of Bennett College continues, the state of North Carolina recognizing her as a four-year institution dedicated to higher learning. We celebrate the humble beginning of a story we all know too well. How in 1873, Bennett College was birthed in the basement of the Warnersville Methodist Church, presently known today as St. Matthew's Methodist Church, by emancipated men and women. We continue to celebrate the heroines of the past, the current present, and the very not far future. We also celebrate the recent chapter of the Stand With Bennett movement and the strides we all took to ensure that the Oasis will remain standing for many generations to come. When I first arrived at Bennett College in August 2016, my Bennett story began with me being a bright-eyed girl willing to soak up as much history and knowledge on an institution that I had once visited on a college tour. It was new for me, as no other individual in my family had pursued a college education, rather pursuing a profession after high school. So, I was comfortable with being uncomfortable, being in an environment that I had never once experienced, and making my best attempt to adapt to the Bennett way of life. I quickly learned that Bennett Bells are multidimensional, and that they were young women of color striving to advocate and to excel in a world that did not cater to them at most of the time. I also learned that your story, your truth, was something to walk in, and that your Bennett sisters, despite your flaws and all, would be willing to accept who you were without the third degree. And that is how I stand here before you now with immense pride and love for Bennett College, as I had to realize that who we are now is not who we will be forever. We are young women whose stories are just beginning, and the book of life has more chapters than we are dealing with at the moment. Today, I ask from here on that you make your own choices, form your own opinions, and essentially learn what accountability may mean to you during your matriculation here. I ask that you reflect on what tools the Oasis has given you so far to make a significant impact on this campus and in the world. And I leave you with this quote from Michelle Obama that states, "Even when it's not pretty or perfect, even when it's more real than you want it to be, your story is what you have, what you will always have. It is something to own." Thank you.
President Dawkins, Board of Trustees, alumni, staff, students, friends, supporters, guests of the college, good morning. My name is Tyler Bennett, and I serve as the senior class president for the 2018-2019 academic year. Greetings on this momentous Charter Day occasion. The Bennett Belle. Who is she? She is the fearless. In 1873, Bennett College fearlessly began her journey and growth in the basement of the Warnersville Methodist Episcopal Church. Here, men and women would begin gathering together for primary and secondary studies. From early on, Bennett was not just a place of education, but a place of heroic leadership. Despite threats in the form of the KKK, lynching, and many other heinous acts to suppress Black freedom, Bennett operated in a fearless pursuit of vision. The visionary. The enslaved women and men of our past hoped for there to one day be a place to give their children and their children's children freedom. Not just literal freedom, but of educational freedom, which many would say is far more valuable than any physical freedom would bring. Even slave owners knew that education and knowledge is an invaluable source of freedom. The slave owners' understanding of this attests to their deliberate deliberate actions in denying slaves education. Nonetheless, our prayers persevered and made way in the name of Bennett College. The pioneer. In 1889, Bennett College's inception as a four-year institution was created to instill hope. The conflicting times of the late 1880s into the early 1900s, Bennett became a lighthouse, a place of educational refuge and freedom for men and women who otherwise would be overlooked and disregarded. The Trailblazer. In 1926, Bennett was recognized as a four-year all-women's institution. In a time where race relations were turbulent and education for Black women was scarce, Bennett College blazed a trail for the many women that stepped foot and matriculated on this campus. The legendary. From 1926 to the present, Bennett College has produced women of achievement, purpose, and excellence. Bennett is a breeding ground for excellence personified. Bennett is a place that is honed in on women who have become legends of their time, such as Dorothy L. Brown, who is the first African-American woman to become general surgeon in the South. Sarah Lou Harris Carter, the first African-American model to be featured in a national poster advertising campaign in the 1940s for Lucky Strike cigarettes. Willa Beatrice Player, who was installed as the first African-American woman president of an accredited four-year liberal arts college, Bennett College. Belinda J. Foster, the first African-American female district attorney in the state of North Carolina. Yvonne Johnson, the first African-American to be mayor of Greensboro, and many, many more women who have paved the way and created a legacy that all Bennett girls may follow. The Vigilant. Bennett is facing one of the most distressing times the college has seen in a while. As we are in the course of overcoming one of the biggest blows to hit our campus, we have remained vigilant in our fight for the life of our oasis. There is no other choice to the rise to the call of the season we are in right now. Bennett does. We are the fearless, the visionaries, the pioneers, the trailblazers, the legendary, and the vigilant. We must not forget who we are and who we must continue to be in times of trouble. The blood, the sweat, and the tears of those before us has not been in vain and will not leave us. If it was in vain, we would not be celebrating Bennett College's 130th Charter Day. Your blood, your sweat, and your tears will not be in vain. Remember who you are and continue to be unrelenting in the pursuit of what matters most. Happy Charter Day.
I want to thank the choir and the dancers. Please give them another round of applause. And before I introduce the speakers, I want to recognize any members of the Board of Trustees that are in the room. Please stand. Also joining them, please stand, the alumni in the room, all the alumni. And now, faculty and staff, will you please stand? Faculty and staff. Thank you. It is indeed my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Judge Patrice A. Hennett, who is here with her mother, Mrs. Cordelia Ann Barnett Hennett, a 1948 Bennett College graduate, and her sister, Mrs. Glenna Hennett, a 1975 Bennett College graduate. So, Mrs. Cordelia Hennett, if you didn't wave your hand so that we can see you. I'm sorry. Cordelia Hennett. Now, Mrs. Glenna Hennett, would you please raise your hand as well and stand? Just stand and let us see you. Bennett Bell. On behalf of the Bennett College Board of Trustees, our faculty, staff, students, and alumni, let me say how happy we are to have all three of you join us for our 2019 Charter Day convocation. Thank you guys for being here. Throughout the years, the Hennett family has been very strong supporters of Bennett College and collectively has given Bennett more than $100,000. Let's give them another round of applause. And we thank you. We thank you. Now back to our today's speaker. Judge Hennett is an influential woman who truly needs no introduction. And as you can see from her bio in the book, which doesn't begin to cover everything she has accomplished, Judge Hennett has enjoyed a stellar career. A graduate of Spelman College, our sister school, and North Carolina Central University School of Law, she did additional studies at the National Judicial College and the North Carolina School of Government. Currently, she serves as a state bar counselor, following 9 years as a North Carolina resident judge, a Superior Court judge, and 13 years as a Guilford County District Court judge. She served the legal profession as a board member and as secretary of the North Carolina Conference of Superior Court Judges, and as a board member and vice president of the North Carolina Association of Black Lawyers, among other ways. Judge Hennett is active with the Rotary International Greensboro Club and the Links Incorporated. She's a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and serves on North Carolina A&T State University's Board of Visitors. She has served in various leadership roles in the past, including President of Junior League of Greensboro, Chair of both the United Arts Council of Greensboro and Youth Services Bureau of Greensboro, and as a Board of Trustee member of Moses Cone Memorial Hospital, just to name a few. She and colleagues George Dixon and Iris Spencer played a significant role in organizing women in Greensboro to donate to Bennett College during our Stand With Bennett campaign. Most importantly, Judge Hennett is a native and resident of Greensboro. She is a Christian, and she enjoys travel, collegiate and professional sports, old movies, we have that in common, reading and spending time with family and friends. Please join me in giving a warm Bennett College welcome to Judge Patrice A. Bennett as she comes to address us and to tell her mom's Bennett College story.
Good morning, President Stockton, Provost Dr. Lester, Board of Trustees, President Alumni, President, friends, family, and relatives. What an honor to be with you today. In fact, this is quite humbling considering the significance of the day. Also because you have chosen to honor my mother. I can only imagine we have some other family members here in spirit, namely her peers, now deceased, cousin Lucille Bennett Lowe, cousin Nettie Jones Bennett, sister-in-law Dorothy Bennett, sister-in-law Fannie Lee Bennett, all alumni, as well as cousin Vivian Ayers, who transferred to Howard University, sister Elizabeth Barnett Harris, who transferred to West Virginia State University. Plus, her grandchildren attended Children's House and Summer Math and Science Camp for high school students, followed by the great-grand at the Children's House. So that's 4 generations that have passed through the doors and gates of this house. The best I can do is to tell you that I attended a summer camp for reading while in high school, and I chaired the UNCF fundraiser under President Gloria Scott, trying to live down going away to Spelman for college and still trying to make up for that. So as all Captain Obvious aliases in the house, today this family not only values education, but believes in this college as a place where a young colored girl, as we would say back in the day, would be accepted for herself, valued as a teachable student, and nurtured as a female who would be extraordinary, respected, and phenomenal. But why Bennett? Reorganized as a college for women in 1926, it was a mere single generation of having the doors open when Mother enrolled, though it was 50 years before the leaders got it right and made it a single-gender institution. Bennett has long held out the intention to prepare women through a liberal arts education, basically to be the God version of herself. But let's not forget that Bennett was founded by an activist in the late 19th century who championed the cause of racial equality, offering high school and college-level courses to compensate for what we know is the ongoing lack of educational opportunity. Within the first 5 years of existence, a New York businessman, Lyman Bennett, provided $10,000, valued at about $193,000 in today's market, in funding to build a permanent campus. He died soon after and was honored by those who opted to continue the dream of the school by providing the veil. In 1926, David Dallas Jones became president. Prexy, he was called in there. That's all I ever heard mother call him, Prexy. And the brother of a graduate of the early days of Coed College, who later became a bishop of the Methodist Episcopal Church, now St. Matthew's Methodist Church. Prexy finished telling the story. Bennett was mentioned in the same breath as the 7 sisters, particularly Vassar, the other 7 sisters being Barnard, think Columbia, Bryn Mawr, Smith, Mount Holyoke, Wellesley, and Radcliffe, think Harvard. Sort of like Dr. Ford at A&T would refer to A&T as a world-class university. That was over 25 years ago, and look at A&T now. Same thing for Bennett. But let me exercise a moment of personal privilege to tell you that Spelman, the other Bennett, shares the same designation. But back to Bennett. Prexy was so serious. That's the best word I know for saying he was so with it. Like information gatherers of today that the FBI came to visit to put a stop to educating these girls who would not stay in their place under Jim Crow segregation laws. To his rescue came the United States First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, NAACP leader Fisk University graduate Republican writer James Weldon Johnson, think with every voice, Pulitzer Prize poet Robert Frost, who spoke of a bright kingdom and a conceivable future, and Benjamin Mays, Morehouse College president, who forged the Bennett-Morehouse bond, which has continued to the present day from back in the day. They illustrated that the institution was no better than the people who passed through it, holding good to teachers. That is to say that good teachers make poor students good, but the great teachers inspire. And I've seen it in here today. Bennett would be the place for the great teachers. Now, to connect the dots, these backers helped to establish the foundation that allowed Bennett College to be one of the first and the only black college to be admitted into full membership in the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools back in 1957. Did you hear me? Since then, the list of affiliations by Bennett has grown to about 20 education agencies. Forgive this one diversion, but let's pause for that aha moment. At least that's what the internet says. Now, I just looked up Bennett on the internet, and that's what it says. Saxony Bennett College, the only black college to get accreditation to. And we know that this is not fake news, that this college was the first black sex college. Shall we make Bennett great again? So Prince, the new granddaddy, a staunch Methodist, and Prince came calling on granddaddy, that means he paid a visit. Generational divide. Granddaddy, anyway, had graduated from Ohio U and the Ohio State University back between 1913 and 1917 and became a principal of the high school in the little town where Mother came from. But he came to ask for Mother to enroll at Bennett. And back then, that's what the president did. He went around and he recruited students. And as a result of that visit, the 16-year-old bright-eyed girl left for Greensboro and traveled by train over the duration of her college experience. Significant because the Mason-Dixon line, which divided north from south, that's back in the days of segregation, required a certain seating arrangement for people of color and people of Caucasian descent, enforced by the spotters who walked the aisles looking for the non-compliant passengers. Did you get that? So she learned discipline and wisened to the ways of sympathizers and racists. She also learned that having the air of an educated person commanded a kind of unspoken respect, tantamount to a welcome by both races, a welcome with the hope placed on the college-educated woman to just maybe become a contributor to society, a leader, a thinker capable of dissecting the complexities of a democratic republic, a burgeoning capitalistic economy, a growing young country, opening her arms to dreamers looking for dignity, prosperity, ability to own property, religious freedom, making life for a family, and use the education coupled with social graces to have the ability to be competitive and successful in the workplace. Not too much has changed. Well, a little has changed. The best story is in the Bell Ringer magazine published last year, I think it was, which was replete with photographs and a carefully scribed historical perspective of the college, which must surely be required reading of every student and employee of this college. It was excellent. This much I can share. Students were required to take physical education every year. All meals were served in the campus dining halls where appropriate attire was required. Students employed the international option of wearing bright colored clothes during drab days of winter, especially red. I don't know why. Students on work study had various jobs in the dining hall. They rang the bell at the top of the hour. They checked attendance in chapel and vesper services. In addition, students were subject to residence hall rules, including a 9 o'clock curfew, I think the tale goes, clean sleeping rooms, sitting rooms, and bathrooms. No males were allowed beyond the lobby. In addition, bells wore hats and gloves when going to Tuesday and Thursday chapel, Sunday vespers, downtown, or other off-campus activities, which was a distinction well known around town. No pants were allowed except after class and on weekends. They shared a single telephone, jealously coveted for those calls from home and from suitors. Suitors, you know. A girl with that. Captain Obvious translation. No cell phones with which to communicate 24/7. No personal phones for marathon conversations about your horoscope and whether or not you're going to have a baby. Mother's lessons were succinct ones. Number 1, value education. Number 2, go to college to become you. Press on and go forward to ensure others continue to carry the torch. Uphold the standards of the extraordinary female. 3, appreciate the past but don't live in it. Number 4, pass the torch to light the future. Number 5, encourage others, especially young people, to realize that we are in a very competitive world, that you can make it. Number 6, give yourself permission to succeed at your dream. She likes the warm colors, the brown taupe, rust and gold. She describes herself as earnest. She's private, she doesn't seek attention, and she laments that she is misunderstood. But more importantly, she believes hard work and discipline pay off, allowing independence, comfort, and the satisfaction of feeling blessed to be the God you, to take the responsibility to create legacies that will take the next generation to a level we can only imagine. So get used to being yourself, Bennett. It doesn't have to make the news. If you as a black female serve as president or governor or make an A in a class in a traditionally male subject, or go on to graduate and do your thing in predominantly male territory, or even create your own path. That's what bells do. They say that's what caddies do. That's what bells do too. So here is the challenge. Stay true to the Bennett College brand and principles of excellence, grace, and success. Strengthen the college through partnerships. Show how the college brand can strengthen black females as well as society at large. Make your mark by adjusting in ways to tap into the strengths of the brand. Give hope and emboldenment to your classmates and those who come behind you. Show value added in being the black female that is ready, willing, and able to compete and to succeed. Attract new students with your record of accomplishment. As a deliberately way you are Bennett graduate, a deliberately way you are faculty, and a deliberately way you are president, and a deliberately way you are Bennett College. And best of all, looking over here now with the students, give back, even if you do it like we had to do it back in the day. If your first year is the amount of the year you graduated, you spend that $20.19. They just need to see that you're sending something, because when they can show 100% giving by the students, then that speaks volumes when they go out and walk the halls and beat on doors and ring doorbells to try to empty someone's pocket. And there's some deep pockets in this area. Then, up it a little bit. $219, $2,019. And then 30 years from now, maybe I'm just going too far here, but $100, 100,000 to 200,000. Or maybe if you have to, or if you want to, team up with the girls and say, look, when we go back, our 10th year reunion, hand over a check for $1 million, and we're not telling them that it's coming. And you can do that. Start saving now. Let it compound. Invest in something that will take off in the next year or so. Keep up with what's happening in the market and learn where the big money is about to come from, and put some money there and let it grow for you. So gas, if you wish, that I suggest that you come back with that check for $1 million. Those of us over 65 know that women could not graduate from college when we came along expecting to hook up a job, making over $100 grand per year with benefits, nor to start a business with adequate capital. But you can, and we expect you to do so. Says Captain Obvious, times have changed a little bit. But it is probably still truth in the words of William James that the great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. So let me tell you one last thing. Again, thank you for today and for your attention. But let's just have a little repartee. At its best, it's an anecdote about Mahatma Gandhi. When Mahatma Gandhi was studying law at the University College of London, a professor disliked him intensely and always displayed animosity towards him. Also, because Gandhi never lowered his head when addressing the professor, as was expected of him, there were always arguments and confrontations. One day, the professor was having lunch at the dining room of the university, and Gandhi came along with his tray and sat next to the professor. The professor said, Mr. Gandhi, you do not understand. A pig and a bird do not sit together to eat. Gandhi looked at him as a parent would a rude child and calmly replied, you do not worry, Professor, I'll fly away. And Gandhi went and sat at another table. The professor, reddening with rage, decided to take revenge on the next test paper. No vengeance is mine, said the Lord. I'm trying to do it for yourself. But Gandhi responded brilliantly to all questions. The professor, unhappy and frustrated, asked him the following question. Mr. Gandhi, if you were walking down the street and found a package and within was a bag of wisdom and another bag with a lot of money, which would you take? And without hesitating, Gandhi responded, the one with the money, of course. The professor, smiling sarcastically, said, I, in your place, would have taken the wisdom. Gandhi shrugged indifferently and responded, each one takes what he doesn't have. The professor, by this time, was fit to be tied. So great was his anger that he wrote on Gandhi's exam sheet the word idiot and gave it back to Gandhi. Gandhi took the exam sheet, sat down at his desk, trying very hard to remain calm while he contemplated his next move. You know how these don't respond to an email or text in haste if it rattles you. But a few minutes later, Gandhi got up, went to the professor and said to him in a very dignified but sarcastically polite tone, Mr. You autographed the sheet, but you did not give me the grade.
Judge Bennett, thank you. Thank you so much for those wonderful words, for the message today. I especially like that last story. We are so grateful to you, your mother, and your sister for all that your family has done for Bennett College. I know that you did not become a judge by happenstance. It took hard work, your ladies, and support of loving, strong parents for you to achieve the professional success you have enjoyed. Let's give Judge Bennett another round of applause. Judge Bennett, come on. It is my pleasure to present you with the Bennett College President Award. It reads, in recognition of your continued advocacy for social justice and support of Bennett College as the 2019 Charter Day Convocation Speaker. Thank you. Now, Mrs. Cordelia Ann Barnett Kennedy. I am certain I speak for everyone here today when I say just how much we enjoy hearing your daughter, Judge Bennett, share your Bennett College story. It is indeed my pleasure to bestow upon you the Distinguished Service Award of which you are most deserving. And it reads, presented to Cordelia Ann Barnett Bennett, in grateful appreciation for your many years of loyalty, dedication, and outstanding contributions toward a continued success of Bennett College and the students we serve. Thank you. And now, Ms. Glenna Kennedy, please come forward. Entrepreneurship is one of the 5 key areas here at Bennett College, and we stress the importance of becoming leaders to our students. Because you are an outstanding businesswoman in the Greensboro community, and because you took time out of your busy schedule to join us today, please accept this token of our appreciation. In your honor, Bennett family, we would also like to give you the beautiful flowers that have graced our chapel today. May God bless you all. Thank you. Please join me in giving them another round of applause. We will now sing the Alma Mater, followed by the benediction by Reverend McClain.
Voices raised, our
Let us bow together in prayer. Precious God, we bless you for these wonderful moments spent together. Thank you for words of encouragement and inspiration and words of hope. We will always live by these words and continue to follow your guidance. Now, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet communion of the Holy Spirit be with you, rest upon you, and give you great joy. Amen.
Classes will start at 1:15.
Faculty, staff, and guests of the college, you are now dismissed. You don't do it.